Copyright provided by RawStory Donald Trump in the Oval Office, photo by Mandel Ngan for AFP. According to a report from NBC News, the revelation that Donald Trump was still hanging onto boxes of sensitive government documents in an unsecured room at his Mar-a-Lago resort has come as no surprise to former members of his White House inner circle, with an anonymous tipster alerting the Justice Department that the former president was still in possession of top-secret files that should have never left Washington, D.C. for Florida resort. NBC reported on the frantic tossing of documents into bankers' boxes in the final days of the Trump presidency. According to the report, Trump's style of handling White House documents has been described by people who worked for him as slapdash and ad hoc, contributing to the debacle he now faces. He was known to rip up records that aides would have to retrieve from trash cans or from the floor and tape back together, according to former aides and multiple reports. Former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton admitted it worried people all the time. Related, Mary Trump, you have to look seriously at Jared Kushner as an FBI informant. Trump had a habit of grabbing intelligence documents. God knows what he did with it, Bolton, now a Trump critic, added. According to one source, the Jan 6th insurrection created havoc at the White House where preparations to leave were in full swing. It was a chaotic exit, they explained. Everyone piled everything, staff, the White House movers, into the moving trucks. When they got to Mar-a-Lago, they piled everything there in this storage room, except for things like the first lattice clothes. Everything in a box went there. As for Trump, the source indicated he wasn't concerned about the details or logistics. He didn't care about the boxes. He was in a dark place at the time, if you remember. He didn't even unpack things, the insider complained. Over time, the staff moved them back in. If you had brought him into that storeroom and asked, "Which are your presidential papers?" he couldn't tell you. Another aide admitted that the former president was unconcerned about sensitive document protocols. He'd have no awareness, this person said. When he was done with a piece of paper, he'd rip it up and throw it on the ground. That was his way of saying he's done. But the narrative that he was ripping up documents like he was his own personal shredding machine is not accurate. He'd rip it in half, not usually into 1,000 pieces.